Just when you thought you've seen the slimmest ever budget phone, Infinix said, hold my bear, and then they dropped an even slimmer device, the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus, 5.95mm slim. What is going on? It is the era of slim phones, and if you think that only comes with flagships, well, Infinix has other ideas. They've launched the Hot 60 series and they are setting some wild standards with this Hot 60 Pro Plus. Now, normally when a phone is this slim, you are either sacrificing battery or cutting corners elsewhere, but with the Hot 60 Pro Plus, Infinix matched what you would expect at this price and then went a few steps further. It is currently the slimmest phone with the biggest battery you can find, 5160 mAh packed into a 5.95mm body. For context, the slimmest flagship right now is the Galaxy S25 Edge, and it has a battery of just 3900 mAh. Of course, the Hot 60 Pro Plus is not a flagship, so they can't be compared, but that just shows how far budget phones have come. It is even lighter than the S25 Edge, which begs the question, for something this slim and light, is it any good? So let's take a look at the highlights. It is currently the slimmest budget phone. It's got the new MediaTek Helio G200 processor. It's affordable, impressive display specifications, Sony camera sensor, 5 years of software support, and plenty of AI. Now, alongside the Hot 60 Pro Plus, Infinix also drops the Hot 60 Pro and 60i. The Pro matches most of the specs of the Plus but is more affordable. It has an SD card slot and keeps the headphone jack. They also released the Infinix AI Buds and AI Ring. Cool little smart accessories. Sure, the buds look familiar, but the case with a touch display is quite interesting. The focus, however, is on the Hot 60 Pro Plus, so let's get down to business. It starts around $165. That's about 262,000 naira for the 128GB base version. There is also a 256GB option, both with 8GB of RAM. Now, the unboxing experience is classic Infinix. They are more generous than most brands at this price. Inside, you get a glass screen protector, which I'd say is thoughtful since it's difficult to find good curved ones. The case looks nice, but it obviously prioritizes keeping the phone slim over ruggedness, which makes sense given the design philosophy here. Looking at the Hot 60 Pro Plus, you have to commend Infinix for sticking to and refining their design. The same camera arrangement and slim aesthetic as the last generation, but better. They also went with some vibrant color options. I dare say the most vibrant array I've seen with smartphone brands recently. These days they are mostly going with muted colors. We get 6 interesting color options. Mine is the Misty Violet. Hopefully we get all of them in this region. The back is made of matte fiberglass and it feels good in the hand. Underneath the last camera ring, there is the active halo light, previously a Note series exclusive, but we now have it here. It glows for calls, charging, and notifications. On the frame, the power button is color accented to stand out from the volume keys, a subtle detail that might stand out depending on the color you go for. The overall design is premium, and you could say it almost feels too slim and too light to be any good. The curves on the display are not too aggressive, so there's barely any cases of accidental operations from the sides while holding the phone. There's no headphone jack, no SD card slot, but it accepts dual nano SIM cards. So yes, the storage is not expandable, but I won't call that a problem since you can always pick up the 256GB version without spending so much. The stereo speakers sound great for a device so slim. It is tuned by JBL. You also get an IR blaster and IP65 dust and splash resistance rating. Now, when it comes to the display of the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus, it is pretty maxed out when you look at the specs on paper. 6.78-inch 1.5K AMOLED with brightness peaking at an impressive 4500 nits. In regular high brightness mode, it's around 1600 nits. I've seen comments about the Helio G200 not supporting 144Hz or any more than 1080p, so how is Infinix achieving this? Let's discuss. This one is for the nerds. According to Infinix, the display panel is 1224 by 2720 in physical resolution. They added that in the fine print on the device information page. The panel is physically higher than 1080p, but due to the limitations of the G200, it needs to be enhanced by software. As for 144Hz, in reality, not many apps actually support that high, but some of the system apps can. So when you set the refresh rate to high, you need to customize refresh rate by app. Now this allows you to get the max 144Hz from the apps that support it. Although from my observations, it requires a minimum brightness level to achieve 144Hz. Below that, it is capped at 120. So, in simpler terms, the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus does achieve 144Hz refresh rate and renders 1.5K resolution via clever rendering tricks. I hope I didn't bore you with the nerdy talk. With that out of the way, we can talk about the actual display quality in real life. It is one of the best looking displays you can find for its price. It is vibrant and will handle all your media consumption requirements. The fingerprint scanner is placed on the display and I have encountered no issues using it to unlock the device. The display protection is Gorilla Glass 7i, still the toughest you can find on a budget phone. On software, the Hot 60 Pro Plus runs on Android 15 and XOS version 15.1.1. Infinix is promising 5 years of support, 3 major Android upgrades and 2 more years of security updates. That is commendable. XOS is feature packed, maybe even too packed for some, but it looks good, it runs smooth and is not lacking when it comes to multitasking. You've got split screen, floating windows, smart panel, dual system and a whole lot more if you want to explore. Of course, there is also Infinix AI, which brings a ton of features, including the assistant Folax with DeepSeek integration, circle to search, call summary, call translation, smart touch. You can find them all in the dedicated section in the settings app. In the gallery, you get AI cutouts, just tap and hold. Then we have AI Studio, which also brings AI eraser, AI sharpness, and AI extender. It is refreshing to see AI becoming standard even at this level, rivaling and sometimes surpassing pricier options. So how about overall performance? I'm sure you have questions about the heat levels, especially because of the device form factor. We'll get to that. The Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus uses the new 6nm MediaTek Helio G200, a 10% bump over the G100. It is a very capable processor and the best performing you will find on a budget phone. For day-to-day tasks, it handles just fine. Multitasking is not a problem here. It has 8 gigs of RAM, so there's enough memory to retain a couple of apps in the background and launch apps swiftly when needed. For gaming, it is capable of playing high graphics titles at medium to high graphics and high frame rates, up to 60 FPS depending on the game. In my experience, you will get consistency with the gaming performance without the device overheating. It does get hot a little if you are playing intensive graphics games, but it's nothing abnormal or unexpected. The Hot 60 Pro Plus is equipped with an advanced cooling system with 11 layers of thermal materials, including a vapor chamber. If you are the type to game for really long sessions though, you should still consider a cooling fan for the best experience. Ultralink is one of the new features Infinix added here. It works like a modern walkie-talkie and it has good range. And with this, you can make free calls and text between supported devices within range. The Hot 60 Pro Plus also has a new outdoor booster mode which boosts the phone's performance while outdoors, specifically on features you would typically use while outdoors, like brightness enhancement, extending the screen timeout, and call enhancement. But enabling this will significantly impact the battery life as it consumes more power. Now speaking of battery life, despite being super slim, the Hot 60 Pro Plus packs a 5160 mAh battery as we've said before, easily lasting a full day for the average user. It also supports 45 watts fast charging. I've not experienced any abnormalities so far with the battery life. You can also check the battery health in the settings. On camera specifications, you get mostly the same configuration as the Hot 50 Pro Plus, with the exemption of the depth sensor, and the main 50 megapixel camera here is a Sony IMX882 sensor. It takes good photos with detail and sharpness. HDR performance is good and colors come out great. The 13MP selfie camera also gives impressive results. Photos are sharp and skin tones come out good. Video maxes out at 2K 30fps. Compared to the previous Hot 50 Pro Plus, you are getting slightly better performance, a more refined design, longer software support, bigger battery, more AI features. Compared to what the competition has to offer, the Hot 60 Pro Plus is right up there with the best specifications and features you can get for its price. This is a solid device from Infinix and I love everything they've packed in here to make the budget phone experience way beyond what you typically expect from your average budget phone. Premium design, solid build quality, and surprisingly capable features into one of the slimmest phones you probably ever hold. There is no major compromises here, not on battery, not on performance, at least in my experience. If you're on a tighter budget, the regular Hot 60 Pro gives you most of the experience too. Now my only real nitpick here is that the UI could still be trimmed down a little. Not a deal breaker, plus you can always customize it to your taste. I would have also asked for 5G, but at this price and in this region, you barely find better offerings when you consider the total package. The Hot 60 Pro Plus sets a new bar for what a budget phone can deliver, and I'm curious to see how it holds up over time given how slim it is. I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.